Who's going to last that long? Welcome back, guys. We're live again. Pittsburgh's up again at a few picks here. Lots of interesting things happened since we talked to you last. Number one, got a haircut. Looks fresh, doesn't it? Number two, the Browns took Shedeur Sanders. That's crazy. Didn't see that coming after they took Dylan Gabriel, I believe, in the third round. So now they've got a very jam-packed quarterback room. But enough about them. Quarterback could be an option for the Pittsburgh Steelers at this pick here. If they do, Will Howard is still available. In addition to that, Quinn Ewers, Kyle McCord, and Riley Leonard, all viable options. So I could easily see any of those people being available or being the selection at that point. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Jalen Rivers just went to the Bengals.
Paste done. There we go. So beyond that, then we've got the. I just realized I sent the link to the wrong person. So now Nick will get that link and he'll be able to join in here. Defensive tackle still a possibility. JJ Pegues, I know we talked about him in the fourth round. He's still available, so I could see him being the selection here, along with Yahya Black, also still available. So those are two very real possibilities at the defensive tackle position. At defensive end, Elijah Roberts still available, so I could definitely see him as a conversion kind of guy. And then I want to say there was also one more. Yeah, Jared Harrison Hunt, also more of a defensive end type. So there's Nick. Nick's ready to join us in the car this time.
We are indeed teleporting. I am almost home though, so I like to think of myself today as the version of Ty Schmidt on the Pat McAfee show where he's pretended to be Matt Mel Kiper. He's like, "Well, listen here, James. I'm in the car this time, and we got the Steelers up for a pick." So that's the presence and the vibes I'm trying to embody today.
There you go, man. You're the traveling man today. You're all over. So I was just telling the people, obviously, crazy with the Shedeur Sanders going to the Browns. Now they have too many quarterbacks.
Yep.
And maybe not enough at the same point in time. But for Pittsburgh at the quarterback position, Will Howard still there, along with Quinn Ewers, Kyle McCord, and Riley Leonard. So all those dudes still available.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised with offensive line, tackle, or guard. Guard could be a possible future starter kind of guy. Miles Frazier out at LSU still there. So that could actually make a lot of sense. Oh, Joe just told me that the Steelers have made a trade.
Kansas City. They just picked up their 20.
So did Pittsburgh move up then?
They moved down.
They moved back.
Yeah.
To the end of this round then.
Yeah.
So we received future compensation for that then?
Yeah, we should have details on the trade real soon here.
Yeah, so this is another guard for the New York picked up a guard, Marcus Nebo from Purdue. The last one before that was the Bengals with Jalen Rivers, another guard. So we'll see what Miami's going to do.
If Pittsburgh traded, that's what we need to know. Details on the trade. What do we got here? I don't have any details on it quite yet, so we'll know that real soon here. They're still showing it on the board, but we will know very shortly what's going on with this trade here, what the details are.
Yeah, double flash by ESPN. Now it's Kansas City instead of Pittsburgh.
Got it. So here, let me see. So Pittsburgh has moved back to pick number 164. So moved back 8 spots. I don't know yet what else they acquired in this trade. I would think they probably picked up a 6th or 7th round pick in addition to this, or maybe some future round compensation. But we haven't seen details of the trade quite yet. It's updated on the ticker here now on NFL Network as well. But of course, they're talking about Matthew Golden, the first round wide receiver for the Packers, rather than telling us what's going on right now.
Well, we figured the con artist was going to be active in trading. We just didn't figure it was going to be this late.
Yeah,
but it'll be interesting to see what he does.
Yeah, it's always all about who are you interested in, who's still available, and what can you get if you do make the trade. If the compensation's good enough, then you make the trade and hope that one of your targets is available. I think that there's enough late-round defensive linemen that they like. I just listed off 4 of them that I know they either went to see or brought in for a visit that are all still available. So if the target here is defensive line in this round, then I see exactly why they moved back. But as soon as Kansas City's up, they should give us the details on the trade so we know exactly what they did here.
And while we have a minute here, while we're waiting on that info, I was doing some reading on Jack Sawyer, our most recent pick.
Yeah.
I guess one of the things that attracted the Steelers to him was his special teams capabilities as a backup. He's a consistent guy. He's been, I believe he's had 29 consecutive starts and didn't miss a game in his college career. So they kind of had that eye on his reliability and his ability to be a special teams contributor that we didn't really have last year opposite Nick Herbig, in terms of, like, I believe it was Preston Smith that we got from Green Bay. So he's kind of filling up that special teams contributor role while he can potentially develop behind Watt and Highsmith.
That's important. That's something Joe and I were talking about here, is that if he can contribute on special teams, then there's a role for him outside of that. My biggest concern with that is it almost feels like this is foreshadowing of them moving on from TJ Watt.
Oh, that would be terrible in my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It almost makes it – it makes it seem like they're going to move on from TJ and trade him possibly next season, and then promote Herbig. Herbig's biggest weakness is against the run. That's Sawyer's biggest strength.
Yep.
That's where my concerns all come on this, is that he would be like your goal line outside linebacker, basically. So Dolphins just made their selection of a safety, Dante Trader, which will bring the Chiefs on the board at the selection that the Steelers did have. So we ought to see the details of this trade any moment now. But, of course, they're now talking about Loveland, the Bears' first-round selection. So it'll be a screen pop-up, hopefully, that we get details. You know what? I'm being goofy. I might as well just check Steelers Depot. They're going to have the details of the trade.
Oh, shit, I was going to think about that.
Steelers Depot has everything. If you don't follow them, then
Jeffrey Bassa from Oregon. That's who the Chiefs is on.
I'm not worried about that. I want to know the details of the trade. And they don't have an article written up on it yet. Oh, here it is. All right. So Pittsburgh got pick number 226 in return.
So next year, what, 7th?
Well, they dropped down to their.
Sure.
They dropped down to their 5th.
Yeah, they went from 156 to 164, and they got 226 in addition to it. I don't know where 226 falls, but that sounds like a late 7.
I believe that's 3 picks before 229. Well, obviously it's 3 picks before 229, but I believe that's our 7th round is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's either a late 6th or a 7th.
Gotcha. So we got an additional 7th for moving down 8 spots.
I don't hate it. I think there's a lot of those guys back there, like you were saying, that Pittsburgh would love to take as a depth piece. Some definite lump of clay guys, as we often talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did they bring in Nazir Stackhouse for
I don't think he was a top 30 visit, but I'm pretty sure they went to Georgia. They almost always do.
Yeah.
So he should still be an option, even if he didn't come in as a visit.
He's a
I'll tell you
nose
what,
tackle kind of guy.
I think one of the things that this is going to signal for us is we know that Pittsburgh doesn't pay undrafted guys a lot of money oftentimes. That's been one of their issues with getting good undrafted classes. If you have extra 7th-round picks, you don't have to worry about it. You just use those 7th-round picks on the guys that you would have prioritized as undrafted guys. So I could totally see them waiting until the 7th now for a quarterback and just using one of those 7th-round picks on a guy that you would have offered an undrafted contract to.
Right. Hopefully they will lose their aversion to drafting a corner at some point here.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Well,
David Potham, hello to you too, sir.
The main thing is that with them jumping back that far, whoever they're interested in, there must be a lot of available players at that position. That's why.
Yeah, I think quarterback, I think defensive tackle. There's still a ton of guys at both. Corner, there hasn't been very many corners selected recently, so it could be even Dorian Strong is still available at this point. And I think Zaw Frazier, too. I don't believe Zaw Frazier has been selected yet.
I haven't seen either of their names called yet.
Nothing has changed.
Yep. So they could still be targeting a corner.
There were a couple guys picked, but I feel like they were names I hadn't heard before.
Yeah. And Miles Frazier, the guard out of LSU, is still available. If they like him, he could be a possible long-term kind of guy. Elijah Roberts just went, which is somebody that they brought in as a possible defensive end type prospect. He was like 285. So he's off the board. But yeah, there's still some talented corners that were expected to be like 3rd-round guys. Tommy Hill out of Nebraska, Zy Alexander, Denzel Burke. Like a lot of these guys that we were expecting to go, even Kobe Bryant in the 3rd or 4th round are still here late in the 5th. So there's some definite value there. There's some definite value at D tackle, and a lot of quarterbacks that probably were expected to be gone by now as well.
Yeah, a lot of those available names are a bit shocking to me at this point. But I mean, obviously, I'm not an NFL scout, but you would, with some of the consensus of people who are in that industry, with like the Field Yateses and the Trevor Sycamas of the world, having a lot of these guys be much higher prospects, it's a little shocking.
Yeah. Chargers are taking their selection now.
This is the main reason why I like the later rounds, because how much faster they are.
It goes real fast now, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're getting not too far away from the 5th round being done.
And this is where you get all the diamond in the rough kind of guys. You find your like George Kittles or your Antonio Browns or the Tom Brady's, Brock Purdy's of the world.
We got a question in here from YouTube, I believe, from David Podden. David asks us, what do you think of Shedeur going to the Browns? They have like 4 quarterbacks. Personally, David, I think it's awesome and hilarious at the same time. The Browns have nothing to lose by taking Shedeur Sanders, but they have obviously their number 1 quarterback, Deshaun Watson, is going to be out for the season with that Achilles. They've got Kenny Pickett. They have Joe Flacco. They drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, and now Shedeur Sanders in the 5th. A lot of teams now don't keep more than 2 quarterbacks. They're in a situation where they're either going to have to make a trade before the season starts or carry 4 quarterbacks. I don't think they'll carry 4 quarterbacks. So I could see them trying to ship Joe Flacco to somebody if a starting quarterback goes down somewhere. But I don't think there's enough value in the other guys to be able to trade them. So you certainly don't want to be in a situation where you give up on your 3rd round quarterback and cut him. And you also look like a real heel if you cut Shedeur before the season starts. So I think Shedeur's talented enough to absolutely make that team. And he's even talented enough, in my opinion, to win the starting job. But they've got a real math problem there. There's too many quarterbacks and not enough positions for all of those quarterbacks.
The only way in which I could see it working out is if they put Deshaun on the PUP list. That could potentially get them through with the other three.
He'll be on the injured reserve. He won't count against it, but you're still talking 4 quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah, because you got Flacco, Pickett, and then 2 rookies.
Oh, yeah.
It comes down to they won't have enough time.
Yeah, and you're only going to have 3 preseason games to try and figure it out. That's not enough, man.
I mean, unless they really go with their rookie camps and really focus on them.
So they're going to have no choice but to do that.
Yeah, they're going to have to try to get Flacco to go there so that they can have their 4 quarterbacks in their rookie camp. Which that's dangerous right there because of injury, man.
Yep.
Because you got kids that go to those camps
trying to make a name for
trying
themselves.
To kill people to make a name.
Yep. You got
not only that, but they I believe traded up to get Shedeur, so they gave up some. I mean, granted, they had a ton of capital to do it, but they gave up some capital in order to get a guy that kind of counts against them. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think honestly, for them, it's a good move because at this point, they got nothing to lose. You know, the only thing they know is they don't have their starting quarterback for the future, most likely on their roster. And I think when they took Dylan Gabriel, best case scenario, he's a backup for you. So, you know, I think the ceiling for Shedeur Sanders is higher than it is for Dylan Gabriel. So why not take a shot? Packers are up. Their pick is in. We should go that soon here.
I would not be surprised if they end up cutting Gabriel.
I would be stunned because he's a 3rd-round pick. And you just don't do that to 3rd-round picks. So I think
words. Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. I think they'd cut Joe Flacco before they'd cut Dylan Gabriel.
What about Pickett? He's probably the most expendable one on the roster at this point, if you think about it.
He might be. But also right now he's probably slated to be the starter.
Yeah.
So he might be the most expendable, but also the most talented out of the group right now.
When you look at their depth chart, or at least if you did the other day before the draft started, their roster was Deshaun, Flacco, and Pickett was the order.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. All right, Packers making their selection here. We got some fans from Germany, it looks like, making the pick. Linebacker Colin Oliver. That's great. I don't see Pittsburgh taking a linebacker unless there is one middle linebacker I see them taking, and I did it in one of my mock drafts. Carson Bruner. I could see Carson coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers because of his dad being a scout and playing for the Steelers so long. Would be another special teams ace. Getting close.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Sawyer pick is not. It's indicating that TJ's leaving. More so of like a potential succession plan.
Yeah, that's where I struggle with it, Nick, because I wonder what in the world's the plan there. I really like Julius Welshoff. I thought he was awesome in the preseason last year, and they brought him back. They just got a roster exemption for him, so he won't count against the 90-man roster in the offseason because of his, international pathway program exemption.
Right.
So, yeah, I didn't like it because of that, because I thought that Welshoff showed plenty to be that number 4. But maybe you're looking at 5. I don't know.
What was that guy on special teams linebacker that came from Detroit that just got the Pro Bowl? What his contract was because he just got the Pro Bowl, so he's going to be making more money.
Playing for who?
For Steelers special teans.
Oh, you're talking Miles Killebrew?
Yeah, Killebrew.
Yeah.
But where's he?
He's safety technically.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they compared him to this new kid, basically they're going cheaper, and also Killebrew's going to go up because of making that Pro Bowl.
Well, they just gave him money.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they paid him. They paid him good too. I want to say he got like $3 or $4 million a year.
He's usually a captain for us too.
Yeah.
Dirty Red still on the team?
No.
No?
No, his contract ran out. He did not get re-signed. So that's part of the motivation behind a pick like Sawyer. If he's good on teams, on the coverage units, then that makes up for losing Matakevich. But that's why I liked Welshoff too. Welshoff was incredible on punt and kick coverage.
But I'm looking at him more as like if he can play the way he played in the preseason, does it again this year?
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's going to be on the field as a starter, as a rotation, not special teams.
Looks like the Niners took a safety there, and not one I was familiar with. So another safety off the board. Getting a little bit closer. I think there's about 4 picks between now and the Steelers' next pick.
Eagles are going. They took a linebacker.
Good.
From Georgia.
You can let them eat it. You don't have to pick it up.
The Eagles can take all the linebackers they want right now.
Yeah. Eagles are having a nice draft, man. They took a few guys I really liked.
Yeah, I have been mad at the league for letting them get away with all the things they've been letting them get away with for the past few years.
Yeah.
Howie Roseman just always seems to know what he's doing.
He's smart. You built that roster to the point where there is no glaring need. So he can literally go every round and just take who the best available talent is, and he keeps on doing it. And because of it, they keep on getting really good talent.
Yeah, and that's something that I think Pittsburgh has been having a hard time with is not like reaching a little bit for positions of need. Because, I mean, you're not going to build a Super Bowl roster in a single draft or a single free agency class. At some point, you just got to start not reaching and saying, okay, if we can't trade out of this position and there's nobody that's at a position of need, we just need to start taking star players and maybe create some depth on the roster at the very least.
Looks like the Eagles took an off-ball linebacker, Smail Munden, a 224-pound linebacker, so definitely an off-ball middle linebacker type. There's the Sanders family dancing, so that must have been after the Browns picked him.
Either that or Shiloh got reached for.
No. I think Shiloh's going undrafted, to be honest with you.
Probably. Either that or somebody takes a 7th rounder on him.
I've got the ESPN top available, and they have 13 guys listed, and Shiloh Sanders is not on the list.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's a bad sign for him with the 5th round getting closer and closer to coming to a close.
Did you see the video of Travis Hunter's little brother trolling Shiloh?
Yeah, that was funny.
So funny.
Saying he was going to be the last pick of the 7th round or whatever.
Yeah. You're Mr. Irrelevant for 2025.
He might not be that high. He might not get picked.
Shiloh Sanders, you are a St. Louis Battlehawk.
Yeah, right. All right, Jets are up. Their pick is in. Then it's the Carolina Panthers, then the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we're about to
Pittsburgh Maulers legend, Shiloh Sanders.
Yeah, right. Might be playing for the Erie team soon.
There you go. Erie Express.
All these people from Germany is going to be in the German league.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, Kurt Warner started in arena football. Why can't Shiloh?
Why not? It's been done.
But Kurt played in it when the league was good.
Yeah. Whew.
I'm having a heck of a time trying to fix this. I'm doing house repairs.
Jets
while we're
select
going here.
linebacker Francisco Mayoga. Never heard of him before.
Can't say that I have either, if I'm being completely honest.
But that's good because I didn't want Pittsburgh to be taking a middle linebacker at this stage. Like I said, Carson Bruner is the only one I would want him to take. And it's just because he's a
he's ranked pretty high.
Second-generation guy.
He hasn't been taken.
Yeah, I saw mocks of him going in the 4th round. So,
Well, no, that one kid that took was ranked pretty high.
They've got him the 9th best available, so he'd be like a 7th-round pick according to ESPN. But whose list are they going off of? So
Yeah.
we'll pick away. Carolina Panthers are up right now. Then Pittsburgh. I think there's a real high chance of J.J. Pegues at this point. Kind of surprised he's still available. And then all the quarterbacks still available. I don't know that Carolina, I don't know if they need a backup QB or not, but.
What pick did we end up getting from the Chiefs here? 164?
164, I think it is.
Yeah, and 223.
Yeah, 226, I think it was.
With pick number 226 in the NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ricky White.
Oh, boy. This guy, he loves the slow wide receiver. I don't know what it's all about.
I just love him for special teams.
Hey, I fell in love with Indius Bay. So
Darius Hayward Bay, yeah.
He was my boy.
Hayward Bay was fun, man. Hayward Bay was real fun. All right, Panthers pick is in. Should momentarily have this name, and then Pittsburgh will be on the clock here. Looks like they took. Is it Mitchell Evans, tight end?
Yep. Mitchell Evans, tight end from Notre Dame.
Nice. All right, so here we are.
No whammies.
Pittsburgh traded back, and to me, no one that was picked in between those two picks would have been a target for the Steelers.
No, not remotely.
All those corners are still here. If they wanted a D tackle, the D tackles are still there. If they wanted one of these quarterbacks, they're still there. So I like what happened in between. It looks like the trade back was a good move as far as possible targets. I'd love to see J.J. Pegues at this pick right here. But one of the corners would be great too. Zoff Frazier, Dorian Strong. Give me one of those guys here too. And I'd be pretty happy with seeing something like that. So we're going to know momentarily. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to take very long.
If we don't go corner here, I'd like to see maybe I think his name's Corey Black. As a guy that recently kind of came onto my radar, he might be a good late round flyer too. So we'll have to see
what position's Corey Black?
He's a corner.
Oh, okay.
So if they don't go corner here, I would like to see him potentially in a later round, maybe with 226 if he's still there. I think he was mocked more in like the 6th round though.
Let me see here. Corey Black out of Oklahoma State, 6 foot, 190 pounds. That's a good sized kid.
Scotland.
That's fun. Low key, the safeties are still there too. R.J. Mickens and Jalen Reed. So I guess there's a possibility on those guys. Jared Ivey's still there, the edge that could play defensive end likely for us.
The Pittsburgh's taking their time here, man.
Yeah. Cody says, "Who we getting?" Cody, if you've been watching, you'll know that we're hoping here to see a defensive tackle.
Trade back again.
Yeah, could be. Nope, pick is in.
Pick's in. There we go.
So J.J. Pegues and Yaya Black are both still there, Cody. So it could be one of those. A lot of the quarterbacks that were rumored are still available. Will Howard,
Miles Frazier on the line.
Yeah, so there's a number of nice options. Cody's laughing at Will Howard.
What does Cody have against my boy Will Howard? I'm not even an Ohio State fan.
I don't know.
I just like Will Howard.
Wow, this is taking a while, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's been submitted already, so it's just
they're just trying to get their money's worth out of the broadcast.
Well, yeah, and they're doing a lot of these international announcements on these. So it could be that they have, like, somebody in Ireland doing the announcement or something like that. So they'll wait until people are ready to march across the stage. This time in the draft, too, sometimes they have former players do some of the things. So Cody says Will Howard's a steal here. He wanted him. So
good.
I agree with you. In the 5th round, especially this late in the 5th round, because we traded back to Kansas City's pick. So this would be the 31st selection in the 5th round, dang near a 6th round pick at that point. I think Will Howard would be an excellent value at this stage of the game.
I'm going to take a break.
And this is where I wanted
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh to take a quarterback all along. I felt like most of the quarterbacks in this class were best case scenario, a backup quarterback as their kind of ceiling. So why take a backup quarterback earlier?
The pick is indeed coming from Ireland. Brett Kiesel making the pick in Ireland.
Oh, that's right. He's there fishing, so he's probably making the announcement. Oh,
Hope he has a green beard.
he does not, unless he dyed it today. Because I saw a video of him earlier. Looks like Neela's joining us for this pick again. It's more because she's hungry. It's about her dinner time. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that. Now I get all the kisses. Oh my goodness, sweet girl.
Yaya Black.
Is it Yaya?
Yeah.
Oh,
We haven't got an
Nick,
update here.
Nick, you might be in trouble.
there
I
we
think
go.
that was on my original mock.
I think so.
I think Yaya was on my original mock when I had Harmon.
James
Uh-oh.
is coming for the title.
Oh, I might be taking the crown back from you, brother.
Absolutely.
Black and Yaya, Black and Yaya, Black and Yaya.
Black
Hey, there we go.
Yaya's huge, man. He is a huge human being. Yeah,
I love to see it.
Yaya.
Hey, I will take that.
So to give you folks a little bit of insight on Yaya Black, when he went to the scouting combine, he weighed in at 6'5" and 6'8", 336 pounds with 35-inch long arms. So he has incredible length. He's not fast. He didn't bench while he was there. He's a nose tackle, but he could be a real upgrade at nose tackle over our backup, Montravius Adams, and maybe even develop into a future starting nose tackle, allowing Keanu Benton to kick back outside the defensive end once Cam Hayward retires. So looks like a real nice option here. Indeed, a real nice pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And again, this is why we pay attention to those top 30 visits, right? Because they bring these guys in. Yaya Black was a top 30 visit. He came in. That was our clue that he was definitely on their radar as someone they were interested in. They already got the defensive end earlier, so you take the nose tackle now.
What Pittsburgh is telling me, at least with this draft, is that they saw what the Ravens did to us in the playoffs and said, we're not having that happen again. No more getting run over in the run game. No more just letting people walk all over us. Because I don't know. I looked back at that game. We had the exact same amount of passing yards they had. They just ran over us. I think they had like 100 more rushing yards than we did.
They ran
more
for
than
over
that.
300 on us.
Yeah. So
it was over 300 yards rushing. You can't let that happen.
No more, Baltimore.
So, a fantastic move in my opinion. I was hoping Pittsburgh would do it this way. Take your talented defensive end early, get your defensive tackle, nose tackle type dude late. That's exactly what they've done. Yet another player from Iowa coming to Pittsburgh doesn't need to change. Honestly, like I'm watching some highlights of him right now, and he doesn't have a sloppy build at all. I thought for a dude that was this big, he'd have a big old belly on him. He does not. So I guess there's a possibility this dude might be able to play a little 3-4 defensive end too.
Yeah,
because he's got extreme length and size.
Yeah, there is no flubber on him.
No, he just isn't quick.
Go back on what Nick said, because they picked this pick. I'm truly agreeing with what Nick is that the next pick is going to be cornerback.
Yeah, I hope it's corner for sure.
I would love to see corner or Will Howard. Those are my options.
I honestly think they're going to do a QB in the end of the 7th here. I really think that's where that's going to come. But we've got 3 more picks coming up for you guys: a 6th-round pick and 2 in the 7th. The 7th-round picks are 226 and 229. So we'll go live before 226 and just stay live for both picks. So appreciate everybody who joined in on this here. And we'll have more info for you. But I really like this pick. Yaya Black's a nice addition to this defensive line.
Damn good pick.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Yeah. All right, Nick, thanks for joining me, brother.
Yes, sir.
spot.